someone rightly said, words may inspire, but action creates change. With this wonderful thought, I, Dr. Jaising, would like to start today's valedictory session. Good afternoon to all the dignitaries, guests, and delegates. With great joy and immense satisfaction, I feel privileged to extend my warm welcome to all present here for the valedictory session of the National Seminar on Diversity, Pluralism, and Education in India, Continuity, Challenges, and the Road Ahead, which is being organized under the aegis of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, sponsored by ICSSR, New Delhi. J.B. Weyerchuk rightly said, please think about your legacy because you are writing it every day. Now, I would like to humbly invite the distinguished guests to take their seats on the dais. Professor S.C. Rai sir, Professor Harkesh Singh sir, Professor S.K. Swain sir, Principal Madam, and Amrita Katyani also please come. It is a matter of great honor for Basanta College family that three eminent personalities in the field of education are present with us. We have Professor S.C. Rai sir, who is Dean of the Northeast Regional Institute of Education, NCRT Shillong, Professor Harkesh Singh sir, ex-Vice Chancellor, Jayaprakash Narayan University, Chhapra, Bihar, and Professor S.K. Swain sir, who is the present Head and Dean, Faculty of Education, BHU. Also we have Professor Alka Singh, our beloved principal, without whose inspiration, cooperation and support, it is not possible to even think of this type of the program. I would like to request our principal ma'am for the welcome address. Principal.
फाउंडेशन के इस प्रांगण में हमारे सारे अतिथियों का स्वागत है। बसंत महिला महाविद्यालय परिवार के सभी सदस्यों और बच्चों की तरफ से ये 2 दिवसीय कार्यक्रम डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ एजुकेशन ने किया, वो अपने आप में बहुत अहम है और इसमें शामिल होकर शिक्षा विभाग में ऐसे ही शामिल होकर शिक्षा विभाग में ऐसे ही शामिल सबके सहयोग से ये 2 दिन का कार्यक्रम बहुत ही सुचारू रूप से, बहुत ही अच्छे से हुआ। आज वैलिडिटी सेशन में I, on behalf of the entire fraternity of Department of Education, Visitha College for Women, I extend a very warm welcome to our esteemed guests on the dais. First of all, Professor Harish Singh sir, the senior most member, our family member, a part of our committee, and committed to the college in the same way as he was committed to the Faculty of Education, Banaras Hindu University. आपका सहयोग हमारे साथ हमेशा रहा है और आने वाले वर्षों में भी इसकी हमें अपेक्षा है आपसे। Our guest and speaker who has been very patient, has been listening to all the speakers. Listening is a very difficult activity, and that too for teaching fraternity. बोलना तो हम सब जानते हैं, सुनना थोड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है, लेकिन जिस तरह आपने धैर्य से हमने आपको देखा, हम बहुत कृतज्ञ हैं सर। A very warm welcome to Professor from NCR Shillong. Of course, from a parent university, our senior family member of the Department of Education, Professor Swain, who is always here to welcome, help us, motivate us, and also give us a direction. I would like to share with you, it was amazing when I thought that Sir himself spoke to the Department of Education of Vasanta College for Women, and he said, I would like to be a part of the induction program of the children of Vasanta College for Women. I mean, outstanding. I think it was out of the box idea where the dean himself comes, addresses the children of the education department in Vasanta College, despite his nefarious activities in the department itself. That in itself shows that how very closely he is connected to the college and the Department of Education. Thank you, sir, for being with us, and a very warm welcome to you. We are very privileged. This seminar has been great in the sense that all my stalwarts of education who are here, they have been throughout the sessions, listening, guiding, chairing, and they have been here. Generally it happens that we move out because we all have some kind of responsibility. And Professor Natia sir, he was there at the inaugural, a very senior person. He is there at the valedictory, and he has been with us in these 2 days with so many discussions across the table, because this is first visit to Vasanta College for Women, although he has been in Banaras earlier also. And I had the opportunity of sitting with him and learning so much as to how we can take this college forward. सर बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, विनय से आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कि आप यहाँ आए। प्रोफेसर A.K. Singh sir, Ms. R.P. Shrivastava madam, and all the distinguished guests who are here. I would be sorry if I would forget some names, so it's better that a very warm welcome to all those who are present today, and my students who have been a very integral part of this program. I think, and the way they have sat through the program, I think they need a loud round of applause for being the actual listeners and benefiting from this. My fraternity of Vasanta College for Women, who has taken the pains to be here for this valedictory, thank you so much for being with the Department of Education and with me. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, ma'am. Now it is time for the felicitation of our guest. I would like to request our principal ma'am and Professor Sanjeev Kumar sir to felicitate Professor S.C. Roy sir. Now I request Professor Meenakshi Biswal ma'am and Sanjeev sir to felicitate Professor Harkesh Singh sir. It is rightly said, Atithi comes like a distant rain. Guest is God and God is great. Now I request Professor Sujata Saha ma'am to felicitate to guest of honor Professor S. K. Swain sir. Now I would like to request Amrita ma'am to felicitate our principal ma'am. Respected sir and madam, before proceeding further, it is relevant to know what we did during the 2 days of the seminar. So I would like to invite our colleague and convener of this workshop, Dr. Amrita Katyayani, Assistant Professor, Department of Education, Vasanta College for Women, for the report presentation. Amrita.
A very good afternoon to the chairperson of the valedictory session, Professor Harkesh Singh, ex-Vice Chancellor of Jayaprakash Nagar University, Chhattisgarh, Bihar. Our guest of honor, Professor S. K. Swain sir, Head and Dean, Faculty of Education, DHU, and our chief guest, Professor C. Goyal, Dean from North-East Regional Institute of Education, NCRT, Surat, and all the dignitaries who are present in the valedictory session, Professor Yes, sir. So now I, Dr. Amrita Katyayani, Assistant Professor from as convener of the seminar, to present report of the 2 days ICSSR sponsored National Seminar on Cultural Diversity, Pluralism and Education in India, Continuity, Challenges and the Road Ahead, under the aegis of Adhika Amrit Mahotsav. The inaugural session of the seminar initiated with the lamp lighting, which is theme of the tradition. It was followed by melodious Vasant Geet, which was presented by Department of Music and students of Vasanta College, Kochi. Professor Alka Singh, Principal, Vasanta College, she delivered inaugural address with the blessings of welcome the guests and to all the respected dignitaries and resource persons and the participants of the seminar. The facilitation of the dignitaries was done by the principal, the department in charge of the education department, and the convener of the seminar. Thereafter, the concept note of the seminar was given by the convener, Dr. Amrita Katyayani. The session graced by the presence of Dr. Bhavani Lal Natia, Chairperson, Northern Regional Committee, NCTE, Professor Avinash Kumar Singh, Head Department of Educational Policy, National Institute of Educational Planning and Administration, New Delhi, and Professor P.N. Singh, Director, IUCT, DHU. The keynote address was delivered by Professor A.K. Singh. He expressed his views on the history of Indian culture, diversity, and pluralism. He emphasized upon the importance of diversity in Indian culture and its preservation. Professor P.N. Singh gave his valuable insights on Indian culture and put forth the true meaning and essence of the very concept of art. Next, policy with reference to diversity and pluralism. Thereby, he discussed about the four components of total quality management in education, that is informed, culture, emancipation, and self-realized. He elaborated further upon the legacies and solutions required to rejuvenate the pluralism and multiculturalism in the educational system. Later, he concluded his deliberations with the words of Rabindranath Tagore and Krishnamurti. The next segment of the session proceeded with paper presentations, in which the main paper presenters were Priyanka Tripathi, research scholar, and she presented her paper on philosophical, political, religious, and educational perspective. Then with Professor Meenakshi Vishwal, professor from Department of Education, she presented her paper on cultural pluralism and metaphysical outlook. Dr. Brihaspati Bhattacharya from Department of Sanskrit, Vasanta College, Copenhagen, he delivered his paper on diversified Indian literary system and in the contemporary era, a unified approach. Dr. Arvind Jaiswal, assistant professor from Department of Philosophy, Vasanta College, who gave his paper. The co-chairperson of the session, Dr. Vibha Joshi, Professor Vibha Joshi, she highlighted upon the economic perspectives of diversity, pluralism, and education in India. She remarked the importance of all the background of presented papers and concluded the theme. Professor Sunil Kumar Singh, the professor and the chairperson of the session, he emphasized upon the necessity of decentralization in the education system. He concluded the lecture by saying that the reality has to be seen, the practical aspects have to be seen in our education system and in the perspective of diversity. The session was then moderated by Dr. Jai Singh, Associate Professor from the Department of Education. The parallel technical session was chaired by Professor Namita Sinha from the Department of Education, Ayurveda PT College, and co-chaired by Professor Renu Singh from the Department of Education, Uday Pratap Autonomous College, Varanasi. The session was moderated by Dr. Vimasin Patel from Vasanta College, Copenhagen. The session had mainly four paper presentations, presented by Priyanka Singh from Research Scholar from Faculty of Education, BHU. She presented paper on diversity, pluralism, and education, a critical analysis in reference to NEP 2020. She discussed upon pluralism and diversity and the role of education. Pradeep Kumar Basman, Research Scholar, Faculty of Education, he explained about the cultural diversity, factors and challenges, and some recommendations to overcome the problem. Ms. Odisi Dhar, MA student, along with Dr. Shreya Pathak, presented paper on the colonial mechanism of power, indigenous education, pluralism, and exclusiveness. She elaborated upon the cultural diversity and its role for teachers and about the inclusive society. She also discussed about flaws of colonial education. In the end, the Sangeeta Singh, Research Scholar from Faculty of Education, discussed about the pluralistic society in Indian philosophical terms. The co-chairperson of the session, Professor Renu Singh, critically examined the concept of diversity and explained the relevance of diversity in Indian context and in our education system. Finally, the concluding the statement was done by the chairperson, Professor Namita Sinha, who explained the concept of unity in diversity in India and also relied on the philosophical, psychological, and sociological aspects of diversity and its relevance for the current education system. The second technical session, we had two parallel sessions. For the first parallel session, the theme of the session was pluralism and education for inclusive society and gender perspective. It was chaired by Professor Niranjan Sahaya, Head Department of Education, Mahatma Gandhi, Kashi Vidyapith, Varanasi, co-chaired by Professor Sujata Sama, Department in charge of Department of Education. And the key speaker for the session was Professor Madhu Kushwaha for Faculty of Education, BHU. Professor Kushwaha discussed upon various factors of gender identity, pedagogical implications which are essential for the inclusive society. She provided insightful reflections on structural, educational, and economic inequality with respect to gross enrollment ratio and gender parity index in government and private schools. The session even proceeded towards the research paper presentations. The first paper was presented by Dr. Manisha Misra from Vasanta College, Copenhagen. Her topic was educational status of girls in India, pluralism and gender issues. Then Savita Kumari in supervision of Professor Gata Saab. She talked about the educational inclusion of transgender, the challenges and opportunities. Then the Ms. Savita Kumari, research scholar from Mahatma Gandhi Central University, Motihari, she presented paper on समावेशी समाज के निर्माण में समावेशी शिक्षा की भूमिका. Lastly, Ms. Radhika Butulai, research scholar from BHU, Productive Education BHU, presented paper on pluralism in education for Indian society. And the session was well moderated by Professor Meenakshi Krishna from the Department of Education. The parallel session on this gender and improvement perspective related to pluralism was chaired by Professor P.S. Ram from Faculty of Education BHU and co-chaired by Professor Vandana Bhagan from the Department of Hindi, Vasita College. The session was moderated by Dr. Praveen Kumar, Assistant Professor from Vasita College. The papers presented, main paper presenters were Ms. Suman, research scholar from Faculty of Education BHU. Her paper was on inclusive education in the perspective of NEP 2020. Then the next paper presenter was Dr. Praveen Kumar, Assistant Professor from the Department of Education, Vasita College, who threw light on the role of pluralism in inclusive society. Then Mr. Pankaj Yadav, research scholar from Bareilly, discussed the various methods and factors responsible for pluralism and how gender equal society can be formed. Then Kadambini Gupta, MH student, she explained the role of language in pluralistic society. The session, the co-chairperson of the session, Professor Vandana, explained the relevance of Indian languages and the inclusion of a linguistic society and its importance in current scenario. In the last concluding remarks given by Professor P.S. Ram, the chairperson of the session, discussed on pluralism and diversity, the role of inclusion and its relationship with philosophical aspects, and very well explained the Indian perspective of pluralism. The second day of the seminar again had two technical sessions from 10 a.m. at 12 p.m. The third technical session was chaired by Professor Rasmi Chaudhary from the Faculty of Education BHU, and it was co-chaired by Professor Meenakshi Krishna, Department of Education. And the main speaker for the session was Professor Salin Verma, Head Department of Education, Mahatma Gandhi Vidyapith, Varanasi. It was moderated by Professor Siddhartha Saha, Department of Education, Vasita College. The session started with paper presentations as per the decision of the chairperson. And the first paper was presented by Anuj Kumar and Shivam Kumar Singh, student of MA, Faculty of Education BHU. And the second presenter was Aligarh Muslim University. And they were under the guidance of Professor Gunjan Dubey, Department of Education, Aligarh Muslim University. And the paper talked about pluralism in education for national integration and development. The second paper presenter was Mr. Subhan Agarwal, research scholar from Faculty of Education. He highlighted on the topic of organizational peace as essential for peace building at the global level. Then the Vipasa Das, research scholar from BHU, she presented paper on education for conflict resolution as a remedy for establishing peace in a pluralistic society. The session was finally the key speaker of the session, Professor Salin Verma. He gave his valuable insights on professor from Department of Education, Ayurveda PD College. He gave his insights on the topic multicultural education and necessity in the contemporary globalized world. Smita Kumari, the research scholar from Faculty of Education, PHU, pluralism in education, pedagogical approaches with educational practices, and the online mainly the online presenters were Dr. Upasana Singh, Assistant Professor for Women's Training College, Patna University. She presented a paper on linguistic diversity in the classroom of Bihar, perspective of teacher educators. Then, another online presentation was by Abhay Kumar Roy, research scholar from Center of Studies in Social Sciences, Kolkata, and his paper was on decolonization of the English curriculum, reviewing the current educational policy in India. Finally, the reflection from all the papers were given by the co-chairperson, Professor Sanjeev Kumar, who gave his valuable insights on the topic. Then the concluding remarks were given by the Professor Nagin Kumar from Faculty of Education, PHU. He explained the difference between diversity and pluralism and explained the relevance of multicultural education, the challenges, and the various suggestions and very thought-provoking suggestions in the Mandal survey for the government. Finally, the last session, the fourth technical session, again had two parallel sessions. The first of it was chaired by Professor Anjali Vajpayee, Faculty of Education, PHU, co-chaired by Professor Sasikala Tripathi, Head Department of Education, College of Women, and the main speaker for this session was Professor R.P. Srivastava from UPA, New Delhi. Ms. Ranjita Magat moderated this session. The main paper presented for this session was Shreya Rai, research scholar from Faculty of Education, PHU, and in the guidance of Professor Anjali Vajpayee. And the paper was on gamified classrooms towards the realistic society. Then next paper was role of ICT in development of pedagogy of pluralism. It was by Dr. Nalpa Prasad sir, and the student who presented the paper was Govinda Prakash Bharti, the research scholar from Faculty of Education, PHU. Then the paper of pluralism theory essential for modern practitioners. This paper was by Prakash Rawat, Assistant Professor, Vasanta College of Women, Garima Gupta, Assistant Professor, Ayurveda PD College, and Anjali Verma, research scholar, Vasanta College. The paper was presented by Anjali Verma. Then Dr. Deepika Devi, Assistant Professor, Faculty of Education, University, Lucknow. She presented a very thoughtful paper on technology integrated pedagogy of science teaching, a tool to establish pluralism in education. The key speaker of the session, Professor R.P. Srivastava, she emphasized on the curriculum concerns and pedagogical approaches with vivid reflections on cultural diversity and pluralism. She discussed about the transactional strategies pertaining to multimedia and use of ICT. She explained the use of this with the help of various examples from real life and the deliberation of very lively and beautiful. The finally the session was concluded by the words of Chairperson Vajpayee. She outlined the note of personality and highlighted the multiplicity form of our country and the role of curriculum, what are the curriculum concerns in such a pluralistic society, and also highlighted the problem of media and ICT technology. The last is the fourth technical session again as a parallel session, which was chaired by Professor Lalita Seth from Department of Economics and College of Women, and it was co-chaired by Professor Ramakant Singh from Mahatma Gandhi Kashi Vidyapith University, and was moderated by Ms. Kiran Patel. Again, this session had almost 4 to 5 paper presentations, which we combined into a positive time. And now we are into the valedictory session of the seminar. We have dignitaries who are being like it cannot be explained in words. They are educationists who are very renowned nationally have come and they are here on the dais, and we will really be benefiting from them. So in the total 2-day seminar, there were more than almost 40 to 50 presentations by the research scholars and valuable insights by the key speakers and the chairpersons and the co-chairpersons. And to Mr. as convener, I find that it was
for the elaborate report presentation. We are honored to have Professor S.C. Roy, sir, with us as our chief guest for the valedictory session. But before inviting him for his address, I would like to briefly introduce our chief guest. Professor Subhash Chandra Ray, sir, has more than 34 years of teaching, administration and research experience. He has contributed immensely to the states of Bihar, Jharkhand and northeastern states during the universalization of primary and elementary education, DPEP, Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, and implementation of the Right to Education Act 2009 and NEP 2020. Sir has guided many researchers at the doctorate level and evaluated several PhD theses of the various Indian universities. He has been a member of the different board of the studies, selection boards, and various other academic committees in his prolonged career. As a consultant of the UNICEF, Sir has helped in implementing the para-teacher program in the state of Bihar. Professor Rai sir is specialized in the program evaluation from the Institute of Education University of London, Cambridge University, National Federation of the Educational Research (NFER), UK, University of California, Los Angeles, Western Michigan University, USA, and University of Ottawa, Canada. He has been a member of the high-powered Education Reform Committee, Professor Sachidanand Committee, Bihar. He is the chairperson of the National Mission for Mentoring Committee constituted by NCTE, a national member of the Eastern Regional Committee, ERC, NCTE, member State Advisory Council of the Right to Education Act 2009, Government of Arunachal Pradesh. At present, he is the Professor of Education at the Department of Education, NERIE, NCRT. Now I would like to invite our chief guest for his address to the participants of the seminar. Sir,
for me as well as for many generations of educators and teachers in this country. Esteemed Professor Swai, the Dean of Faculty of Education, PHU, the Principal of this college, Professor Alka Singh, the coordinator of this today national seminar, Dr. Amrita, my brother and my inspiration, Professor Singh, Professor Mohanlal Makiaji, Professor R.T. Ji, esteemed faculty members of this college, the other resource persons of the seminar, and their students. In the valedictory, I don't think that it's the moment to give a lecture. It's something to summarize. But because I was here and I was not given the opportunity to speak, so this is the moment I can capitalize on it. So I will take a few minutes. What I believe is that believe is that the topic of this seminar, uh, it's, sorry, the slide is not good. And, so the topic of the seminar is about pluralism and diversity and education and the way forward. Given the context, Indian context, what I believe is in a country like India, which is one of the most ancient countries in the world, having the very, very ancient past and culture here. We carry something from there, and it has evolved over thousands of years. And there is something which is different from the rest of the world. This is one reality. Another reality, I believe, I am not a student of history, but what I have read, this is one reality, is that over the centuries there has been migrations to this country. There has been waves of migration. So many people came to this country. Some of them, they returned back, many settled here, and they are here. So, there's a mixture, mixing of things. And then, the Indian context, the political part of India, the different climates. These climates you may not find in different countries, in other countries. In some of the countries, they have only one or two of the season change. We have many. And similarly, we have different races, different religions, different cultures, different clothing style, different cuisine. Whether you know or not, even potato is cooked in more than 30 ways in this country. One potato, same potato is cooked in more than 30-35 ways in this country. So this is the reality. This is the reality. And I right now I am working in the northeastern part of this country, the 8 states over there. They have 220 ethnic groups. Just imagine, eight states, but the population is very, very less. Even one UP will be equal to nearly 6 northeast. 6 northeast. One UP. That is, population size is very less, but the geographical area is very wide, and see the variety 220. I am saying the official data here, but might be some more smaller sub-ethnic groups might be there somewhere. And then 220 languages also. If 220 languages, then 220 cultures, language, the carrier of culture. And then their practices, their rituals, their worship in nature, their belief system, everything is different. Even in Arunachal, you won't believe that if you are staying in one village, the villager of this village may not be able to speak to the nearby villager because they have different languages. So the lingua franca there is mostly Hindi. So this is the situation. And similarly, if you find that the south and the north and the west, we have different languages. matters when we see that still we are one. We are one. So there must be some connecting thread. There must be something which is binding and which is making India one. I don't know whether it is blurred or we need to seek it or we need to recognize it in a different way. So how? But it is still one, and we are living together under one umbrella. It's not that there are no challenges because of this diversity. If you believe the history, we learn from the history of history that okay, we have lost Afghanistan some point in time, we lost Pakistan, we lost Bangladesh, we lost many other countries. Maybe because of some reasons, I don't know. Maybe because of some reasons. We have different states in this country based on the language pattern. So many states have been formed based on the language policy. Language is taking choice. So this is the scenario. So it's not that this diversity is not causing a change. Diversity is causing a change. Diversity is causing a change. The threat to this integration, this national integration, the unity, what we call it as. And I personally believe if the nation is not there, where is our faith? Where will we? And we cannot be there. Someone will come from somewhere and will again become slave. So more than 1,000 years of slavery in this country. There might be some missing links now. There might be, because the continuity, the continuum of that 1,000 years of the cultural legacy might have somewhere broken, somewhere some blurred part must be there in the historical pathway. And we are lost. But I do not know. It's not that first time we are talking about this. It's not. We are not talking about this first time. Pre-independence also, this was a concern. For Congress party also it was a concern. And after independence there was a deliberate effort to understand this and to address this diversity, the pluralism, what we call it as a plural society, and how to preserve and how to make it one. So unity and all those things. In this diversity, this was attempted with a concerted effort by the government, by some people, and especially by the government. And if you look at the Constitution, it talks about that. The Constitution is the Bible. Constitution is something all of us we have to abide by. We adhere to, we respect, and we have to follow the Constitution. And Constitution talks about this, the very preamble of the Constitution talks about all this, which will make some or address this concern or the issue of diversity. And all the commissions, especially in the field of education, I would say, because I am a student of education. So right from the Radhakrishnan Commission to Mudaliar to Kothari to 68 policy, 75 development framework, 56 policy. In between there are some smaller or bigger committees and commissions also, and then 86 policy, program of action 92, later years also. And we have international efforts after 90s. There's a big change in this country when the country went for the liberalization and globalization, then there was a sea change in the scenario in this country, and this country was open to the world market, and UNESCO, UNICEF, World Bank, they came with money, and many initiatives, many programs were launched in this country, especially in the field of education, because the physics policy and program of education, they had some specific mandates, especially in universalization of education, primary education, and elementary education, especially when at 89 Child Rights Convention, UNESCO's Child Rights Convention, we remember the right of the child. And if you remember Taylor's part, this right of the child was addressed through a program of action and adapting, then in between learning without burden, that committee was there, that report was there, Taylor's report. 2000 again, we have the national curriculum framework for education, for school education, and again 2005, we had national curriculum framework with a different ideology, the right to education act. These interventions were something which were different and very intensive, and I should tell you the national curriculum framework for teacher education 2009, Justice Burma Committee, SDG goals, and in 2000 again Millennium goals, 2021 Millennium goals. All these major interventions in this country and in the world, if you see that the issue of diversity and diversity in different forms. In India, they say it's caste, it's creed, it's gender, what is an international issue, hunger is an international issue. Here also the class battle, let's say, I don't know, some say there are documentations, there are reports on this. So if you go by all these things, you will be lost. You will be lost. And if you see the interventions by the government, irrespective of the political ideologies, all those governments, they come up with the programs to address these issues. Whether it is Congress government or the Janata Party government or the coalition government or again the BJP government, I don't know. Irrespective, or go to the states, regional parties. States are ruled by regional parties mostly in this. They form the government. The political parties are based on, they take this issue of diversity, issue of discrimination, issue of suppression, exploitation of perennial. These issues have become perennial. Like as we are abusing Macaulay every year, every decade, Macaulay is being abused by this country people, politicians, educators, teacher educators, everyone. And just imagine that now we are celebrating this, we have entered the Amrit period of this country. And still Macaulay. Now we are our own, we are the rulers of our own land. What are we doing here? Why all things are happening? 1.5% population in this country must be a word. I am not bringing those I should say some political thing, but 1.5% maximum population in this country would be so-called the word Brahmin. But all the bodies, all the people, all the things, and against Brahmin is Brahmin. Can 1.5% exploit the societies for centuries and centuries, and now we are in modern time and still we are unable to do anything, address things. So it's just passing the buck. It's just passing the buck. Because we cannot do it. Because we do not want to do it. So this politics of opportunism, the politics of opportunism is creating a problem for education, creating a problem for diversity. Diversity, I believe, is a matter of narrative. It's a matter of narrative. It's a matter of understanding narrative. It's a matter of respecting narrative, alternative narrative, alternative opinion. If you have the courage, if you have the mindset, if you have one narrative, if you have one opinion about something, you should have courage and that openness that you can tolerate. You cannot tolerate simply. You can accept and respect rather. You can respect others' opinion about this. The alternative narrative. If that happens, there is no issue. There is no issue of only this grammar has to be implemented and it has to sip in the mindset. It has to go into the people of this country. Certain things, yes, I again say, there are some narratives in the world. So, Western countries, country like America, the well-off countries, they have one narrative and they set narratives for the poor countries, developing countries. It's not that they are talking about this good, but they have some agenda. Here also people have some agenda. So they have some narratives. And these perceptions and narratives, they are spread especially after 1995, the day we had a mobile phone in our country in our hand. 1995, that deadline, that date. And since then, and especially after 2000, and see the revolution, digital revolution, and then the message, the transfer of message, the speed of communication. So, narratives are being built, spread, and perceptions are being developed. It's not true. Those things might not be true always. And believe that there are multiple truths. There are not a single truth. There are multiple truths. This is what, as a student of education, I have learned and I have understood. I have assimilated that the truth is not one. There is nothing permanent. Things are changing. So with the changing time, with that lens we have to see the things. With the changing period and with the new things, with that lens we have to look at. And we have to look at from others' lenses also. It's not that only our lens is good and perfect. And I'm carrying that and I'm just going and carrying and crushing others and dominating over others. So this way, the power centers are created in the society here and there. And once the power center is created, and we do not understand anywhere, if the power center is at one place, that will exploit others. Power exploits. And politics, understanding politics means understanding how these power centers are created and how they are exploiting, suppressing others. This is what the politics is. But here, the politics means something else for the political politics. So it's all opportunity. So it's opportunity. The slogan of diversity and pluralism is a kind of opportunity for some political parties and for few people in this country. And there are, of course, ideological differences. There are ideological narratives. Yesterday, I was here and the chairperson was telling something, and he quoted something, and one student from the audience, he came up to the podium and he rectified, corrected, and he gave another perspective. This is what the uh, uh, pluralism is. This is how we should understand. So there are deliberate narratives and perceptions to impose something. See our philosophy. We have different gods. In Sanatana Dharma, we have different gods. So you have options. Everyone has a god. If I go to my village, I see that all the social groups, they have different gods. They have different gods. There is no one god. But why some people in this world, they want that, okay, there is only thing, this is the right, and you have to follow this, otherwise you have to perish. You don't have the right to. Or you follow me or conform to me. And when we see the literature, we see the media, we see the writers, you will find that the essays, articles, research papers, books are coming from those groups on the importance of pluralism, diversity, the concerns, and those things. As if the entire humanity is certain. I don't. Then what is way out? I blame personally as a student of education, I blame that it is our section is the culprit. The teacher education and teacher educators basically, primarily, they are the culprits. Why? I say with conviction that teacher education is the mother of all professions. Teacher education is the mother of all professions. And that is why I blame this teacher education profession. And this teacher educator, I do not understand, especially in this country. I will give you one parallel because I don't dare to talk about UP here. So I will give a parallel from Bihar. There are nearly 350 training colleges in Bihar. And 350 training colleges, I am talking about only B.Ed programs. They are admitting nearly 38,000 students. That means 38,000 teachers are produced each year in Bihar. And all those teachers, if I am correct, then mostly those teachers will be absorbed in the schools of Bihar. Naturally. And look at the scenario there. If you look at ASA report, if you look at NCRT Achievement Survey report, if you look at other reports, you will find the learning level in the school is at the plate. Why? There is a connection, direct connection. I am not talking about MAd and DLED as the other programs, only BA. Now see, the teacher education institutions, the quantum of products they are producing and the absorption and the plight of the situation. Who is to be blamed? The teacher educators. Why teacher educators I have seen? Because throughout my life I have been a teacher educator. And so teacher educator I can understand. They are having different understandings. Okay, fine, in the university, you may have different opinions. You can have different philosophies. You may be self-styled scholars. Nobody. You can sit in your chamber, write many books, produce many research papers. You can get promotion to different levels. That's another thing. But there has to be something. If there is a BA program, if there is a MA education program, if there is an MA program, it's a program. The program has a common objective. The program has some common goals. The institution has to achieve that goal. And for that matter, all the teachers teaching in that course has to be on the same page. It's not there in the university. Forget it if I am saying this, but this is a fact. So this is the university situation. Secondly, most of the teacher educators, they are far from the real understanding of the educational constructs. I remember there are many national level professors, they still believe that critical thinking is a negative thing. There are many national level professors, they believe that outcome and output both are the same. There are many national level professors, they think that experiential learning is something for the lower level children, kids. I don't know. So this is the construct, educational construct, understanding about that, real understanding. They are far from there, and that's why it's not going into the classroom. My proposition is all the teacher education institutions, and for that matter, all the institutions, educational institutions, they are the incubators. They are the blast furnace. They are the crucibles. And from there, the change will happen. But why this change is not happening? Why this issue is still diversity? Why this mindset we are carrying is still? Yesterday I saw people are talking about issues. People are talking about, but how these issues will be addressed? I believe personally as a teacher, a student of education, that it is our incubator, it is our institution and the classroom through which we can change it. The changing mindset is the answer. But changing mindset needs a pedagogy, a different pedagogy. The disorienting pedagogy, what is that? The transforming pedagogy and transforming learning, what is that? And how our teacher educators are dealing with it in the classroom, that we have to say. We never know it. We never do it. Or if we do it, we partially do it. We do it disjointedly. We do it in a very cursory manner. I don't know what. So things are not happening and there is no change. So changing mindset. The only grammar of changing mindset is the changing the bias or the prejudice we are carrying since our childhood. The Dewey's theory, Vygotsky's theory, you all know. We have to deal with learning from the other, listening to other. So there's a participatory approach, there's a discussion, there's a dialogue approach, a rigorous, structured discussion, reflection. And the reflection, the higher order thinking skill, and how we manage this, and how we arrive at the conclusion finally, I don't think it. And you are making them to pass through that process is the purge, ultimately. And it's a cycling. If one time it is not happening, just take another cycle. That is the only way to change the mindset. The mindset is changed, society is changed. We all will be changed. So this changing mindset pedagogy, and what we call it as dismantling pedagogy, disorienting pedagogy, where mindset is changed, that we have to learn. And it's all about involvement, participation, involvement, discussion, dialogue, listening to others, putting all the perspectives, different perspectives before you, then weighing on those perspectives, and then finding, oh, this is better than my perspective, oh, my answer is weak. His answer or her answer is, oh, better than me. It's self-realization. So reflection, metacognition, involvement of metacognition and all. It's a process. Your teacher will teach you. And if that is practiced in the classroom, if all the teachers are aligned with this process and pedagogy, and if the entire paradigm, right from lesson planning, skill development, internship, which is half of the teacher training program, entire institutional culture. I don't know whether Basanta College have a culture of in the staff room, how teachers are sitting and discussing about all those things. I have no idea, but I believe that this is lacking in our education because our professors are sitting. Sir. So with this, I believe that this orienting pedagogy is the solution to all this. And if we teacher educators, we come to this understanding and we come to the same plane, and then we deliver in classrooms and institutions, I think the entire society will change, and we have many things in our own thousands of years of legacy. From there, with a critical mind, we have to select. So, National Education Policy also talks about all these things. We have to imbibe, we have to passively